Hello, my viewers. My name is Riz Kagema. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more educative videos. Today, as many of you have requested me to talk about, I'm going to talk about financial management. This is a very tricky topic to discuss, but somehow I'm going to talk about it. And when I'm talking about financial management, some of the things I'll be talking to you, I've seen they have worked for me. So there are things I believe and I know they can work for someone if you stick to some of these things. And when you talk about financial management, there are so many things come to my mind. There's income, there's saving, there's spending, and there's investment. You earn money, you need to, that is the income, you need to spend on the things which improve your life. You need to save for a rainy day or when you're old, and also you need to invest. And many of us know how to get the income we earn. Either we are employed, either we do our businesses, we get the money. Now the problem comes after that. We don't know how to spend. We don't know how much to put into investment. And we don't know how much to save. And most of us, after getting the money, we are saying it's either in business or employment or other sources like dividends and so on. We spend within a week. If somebody has earned 100,000, within 2 weeks, that person has no coin left with herself or himself. For the next 2 weeks, we have to now to borrow so that we can able to survive for the next 2 weeks until the payday, or we get other income. So this is not 100% the way you should manage your finances, but it will give you some guidance on how you can spend your money. So we all have different ways we get our money on the table. But now the issue here is after we get the money, how do we manage this money so that we spend on our basic needs? We also invest so that we can get some returns in future, and also do some saving, because it is always important to have a small percentage for saving so that in case something happens, your salary is late, you are laid off, you retire before you get your pension, that saving can help you to cater for your lifestyle before you get the next income. So I've talked in the introduction that we have different sources of income. Personally, I'm employed. I also do businesses. And when I get that money, there is a way I divide that money. But most of us, we spend heavily and start spending heavily before we get to the next payday. What we do, we borrow. So for instance, I'll keep on using 100K income. Somebody earns 100K, within 2 weeks, that money is paid. So what they do, in the next 2 weeks, they borrow. So they may borrow 50,000. So by the time the end month comes, instead of now receiving the 100K and spend the full 100K, they have now to pay the 50K they had borrowed. So they are left with a 50,000. And the 50,000 will last maybe a week or 10 days. Then for the next 20 days, they have to burn out the 100,000 to sustain their unbudgeted lifestyle. So the next payday, after earning the 100K, they pay all of it. They have borrowed maybe their friends, they have taken advances, they have gone to Shylock, the mobile apps, places where they can borrow money, they have taken salary advances. So the whole 100, even it's not enough, because some of this money will come with interest to pay. So at the end of 5 months, instead of this person now earning money and spending his money, he's earning money to pay the debt and he keep on borrowing more so that he can survive. So at the end of the year, this person, you'll find that he is supposed to pay maybe even 500,000. And this is for current, day expenditure, not for it was a loan which was taken to do any investment. So you will find this person, regarding this person is earning 100K, he has more problem than a person who is earning 50,000, who budget for his money, who plans for his finances. The 50,000 person is more comfortable, he's at peace. And remember, I talked about financial wellness is very important for our well-being. So the 100K person is more stressed, has accumulated more debt than the person who is earning less money but manages his or her finances well. So that is now where the difference is. We should learn to manage our finances, because even where we work, at our workplace, where you work, just look, you earn the same salary, the people of the same job group. But some of you have cars, others have houses, others have both have houses and have cars, others, their children, they are sent home because their parents are not able to pay school fees. Others, they are not able to pay rent on time, and you're earning the same amount of money. The only difference among those people is how they manage their finances. So finance management, it is fairly critical and key for every person who is handling any type of money, and so that they can able to live a fulfilled life and also to love your job. Because the moment now your pay slip is almost reading negative, do you think for the next 5 years you love your job? A probability no. A probability is no. And most of people have quitted their job because they were unable to manage their finances. And this is a fairly, fairly big problem, especially with the people we are employing these days. You see a 25-old man or girl has been employed. Immediately he gets his first or her first salary, they go to the bank. They take 500,000. But if you ask that person, what is this money meant to do? They have no idea. It is waking up in the morning, going buy the best seat, come back home, buying the biggest screen because they so have a big screen. They also have to compete with me, not knowing me. Personally, I've worked for the last 15 years for the government. We are not of the same job group. We have not the same fashions. We all have not the same likes and dislikes. Our goals are very different. If you see I'm driving a car, don't take around to buy a car. You don't know where I got my money to buy the car. So they are competing. They see you have a big skin, they want to own it, or the big skin their mothers and their fathers had at home. They are competing with life, but they are not knowing that the moment they start now competing, they are spoiling their future, because their future will be a future without any investment, future with a lot of debt, future with a lot of regrets, because at the end of the day, by the time they are realizing they made a mistake on how they handle their finances, they are already fairly old. And you have seen that people even now retiring, but they have nowhere to go. I tell people, even though you have your Mabati house and you think it is comfortable, it is better than the person who is retiring and has nowhere to go. You have seen this in our workplaces. Somebody is retired, a very senior officer, but has no place to go. So those are the scenarios, examples of people who are regretting of the for their mismanagement of the finances they held. So I may not have a definite way of telling you now go spend your money, because we are all unique. My likings, my goals, and my vision for the future, they are fairly different with yours. But there are some points I can tell you now will help you to manage your finances. Then the first one I'm going to talk about, also the business people. Some business people do not able to differentiate money meant for the business and money meant for personal use. And that's why you can see somebody is doing well in business, but all of a sudden you find the business has collapsed. The reason is because, yes, the business was doing well, but this person did not differentiate the money for the business. Instead of now reinvesting the money back to the business, the sales he or he has gotten from the business is used for personal use instead of reinvesting to the business, back to the business. And this was, you have found some business doing well and becoming giants and they're sustainable, others becoming a giant and after sometimes collapses. Others even they do not even peak because the moment you make your first sale, you go and buy a car. The next time you make another sale, you go and buy a house or you go for a holiday. You start living, changing your lifestyle. Now you are living a luxury lifestyle. And at the end of the day, you realize the money which was meant for business, you have used for other things. So the first thing I can tell us, as far as financial management is concerned, is have a budget. A budget will prevent you from mismanaging your money. And when you're talking about a budget, it's good to classify your needs and your wants, your luxuries and such. A person who is paying school fees, a person who is paying rent, a person who needs transport to go to work, those ones, we can refer them as the basic need. So budget your money. If you're earning 100,000, you are staying a house of 15,000, remove the 15,000. You're paying school fees 10,000, remove 10,000. Your transport costs you 10,000, put aside 10,000. Then this one you must do them because they are key and they are very important. The money left, if you believe in tithing, maybe you take some money to tithing. Then from there, differentiate the want and need. There's money for food. That is a need. You need money to feed. Then after that, put each and everything you need to accomplish within that month, allocated its own money. So split the money, whatever you want to do with that money within the month, split it, then allocate each and every item the amount of money and stick to that. Because making a budget is one thing and sticking to the budget is another thing. Because we have seen people going to the bars with their rent in their pocket. By the time they are leaving the bar, even the rent is gone. Maybe you went with 2,000. I'm going to spend 2,000 in the bar. By the time you're leaving the bar, 2,000 spent and 15,000 spent. No. Stick to your budget. Make and stick to your budget. And this one now requires some discipline. And if you know you and money, you don't have discipline, yeah? You're not afraid so much. Because there are some people who say, I cannot sleep with money in my pocket. Immediately you receive your money and you have the budget, that the same day you withdraw that money. Start paying the things you need to be paid. If the school fees, make sure that you have sent that money to the school. If it's the rent, send the rent to the owner. If it's ABCD, do them. Immediately you receive your money. Because after 2 days, if you don't have the discipline, the money which is meant for your child's school fees, you'll spend it. There will be days you're walking the street, you have your rent, you're giving maybe your husband, or you have the rent in your pocket. But you saw a 10,000 dress. Oh, it looks so nice. I've been looking for it. Then you buy it with the rent. Then you try to play hide and seek with your landlord or lady. So let's have some discipline when it comes to sticking to our budget. Another thing, pay yourself first. And I'm good at this. I may not utilize the money I will have paid myself within the month, but I accumulate for my money. And this is the money I go for my holidays with. So make sure that you're the person earning this money. You pay school fees, you pay rent, you set something small to your parents, you do all the things. Make sure that everyone is comfortable. What about you, the person who is earning? So make sure that you pay something so that you can able to do the luxury things you want. Yeah? You can treat yourself, go somewhere, sleep out, take the best dinner, buy yourself that nice clothes you have not even budgeted on, because this one you're using the money you're paying yourself with. The other thing, it is good to track your budget. track your spending. Yes, I talked about the first point is make sure that you have a budget. Each and every item you want to spend money on, it has been allocated some money. But it's also very important to check whether your spending is within your budget. Because sometimes maybe you're allocated and maybe clothing 10,000, but maybe it's like you feel like you have spent more than 10,000 because there was a sweater which was costing 5,000, and you had already bought other things and you bought that sweater. So it's good to see, is my budget in line with, with my spending in line with my budget. And this one, it's like the checker, so that in case there's somewhere you think you're overdoing, you're going beyond the money you have allocated, you can able to cut on it and rectify the problem you have with the spending. Another thing, avoid impulse buying. And this is very good with us women. We are walking on the street. You saw a very nice shoe costing 5,000, not budgeted, and you have 50 pairs at home. You'll go home with that shoe. And then another thing is that shoe, you'll put it after 3 months because you have 50 pairs at home. So it is good to try as much as we can to cut or avoid the impulse buying. Even men in bars, the hawkers, from 10 p.m., they know that men are drunk in the bars. They pass the shoes, the man buys. Now he's a bit tipsy. The belt. At the end of the day, you have 100 pairs of shoes when you're a man, and not put on them because the people who are hockey, they know that moment you are at the bar, you can buy. So avoid impulse buying because it is taking a big chunk of our money, which was being budgeted for, away from our income. So let's stick to what we have planned to do with our money. Another thing, have realistic saving. You cannot be earning 100K and you tell me you'll be saving 50,000 every month. No, because some people save big, then they go back and borrow. The two do not, it's beat the logic. So have realistic saving goals so that you can able to save and you are left with enough money for your spending. Because now you want to impress people. I say 50,000 per month. Then behind the scene, you go borrow money, maybe 20,000, and it's coming with some interest to be paid. So have realistic saving goals and make sure that you're saving. There are people who tell you save 20%, save 30%. I say, according to your needs and expenditure, and your budget, the budget you've come up with, it's the one which will determine how much you should save. Because, for instance, when you're having children going to school and there's a lot of school fees needed, you'll be very different with a person who is done with education or has not started educating his or her children, will have more to put into saving, unlike you. So be realistic with yourself. Do not rely on, I must save 30% of my saving. And it's not possible. Then you go borrowing the school fees. So have a realistic saving plan based on what you're earning and what is your expenditure or expenses which must be met. Another point is, do not borrow money to improve your life. Young generation, this is where I have a problem with you. How do you borrow money to buy a TV, to buy trade or latest shoes or clothing, the designer clothes, to go for a holiday? No, no, no. Money borrowed is supposed for investment. Do something where 10 years from now, even though you want to do away with that investment, it will give you something. But most of us, we are borrowing money to compete with others. We are borrowing money to buy liabilities in our life. We are borrowing money to have a luxury lifestyle. And at the end of the day, it is us who will be left regretting and not having enough for ourselves, even for the basic need. So do not borrow money to improve yourself, but instead borrow money to invest. You can buy land, you can invest in money market, you can invest in real estate. Something will give you something in return, or something which is accelerating or improving its value. But do not borrow for something which are consumable. That one, you are making a big mistake as far as creation of wealth is concerned. Another thing is limit your borrowing. And I think of that or what I've talked about. You do not have to borrow money to improve your life, but to borrow money to invest so that whatever you get from the returns will come and pay you. So, and this is a very a big problem we are having now. We have a lot of mobile apps where people are borrowing, but they are overdoing it. Somebody has borrowed from 5 mobile apps. Then I had one of my colleagues was talking about she borrowed 20,000, but from whatever now was to be deducted after borrowing, it was 80,000. That was 4 times more than the borrowed money. So you may think it's very easy to borrow from the mobile apps, but let me tell you and do research on this. The money you will pay back is not worth borrowing from those sites. Kindly learn away from those mobile apps. I'm not destroying anyone's business, but I'm telling you the truth. You borrow 20,000, you even can pay 100K. So take care. If you need to borrow money, you can buy from reliable areas. Go to the bank, go to your circle. At least the people will not exaggerate, who are not exploiting you. Because why would somebody make 5 times more of the money they gave you? So go to the registered people and they are not exploiting you. Because most of these mobile apps, they are really, really exploiting people. And now this is the people who do not have money discipline. Because I can go to this app, I borrow 20,000, I go and spend the whole weekend being happy, but you're paying the 80,000. So let's avoid learn away from these mobile apps because they have really, really, really messed up with so many young people. Another thing, it's good to plan for your future. What do you want when you be 50? What do you want to have achieved? Do you need to have a family home? Where do you want to build it? How much do you want to have in terms of investment? When do you want to retire? There's a friend of mine who just keep on telling me she want to retire at 40. I'm past 40. But I'm not even planning to retire any sooner because I'm not accumulated more. But this person started saving and investing in things which are giving her returns when she was as young as 24 years old. So let's plan for our future so that by the time we are going for our retirement, we'll have a soft landing. We have nice home as the one we have been given by whatever your employer or the one you have rented. You have the same money as far as you used to earn when you are working. You're active in employment, so you do not lack. I mean, go there and now having problems. You cannot even able to feed yourself. You cannot able to pay for your insurance, health insurance. You cannot able to travel because you do not have income. So plan for your future. Know when I will retire. Where do you want to retire? And what condition or state as far as financial stability is concerned. Another thing, invest. Invest. And I've talked about investment. There are so many areas you can, there's a lot of money market, there is real estate, there are so many assets you can invest on. You can even start a side hustle. You have a business, you employ somebody, a small maybe retail shop. You can do a salon. You can do a grocery. You can always have a small business which is run by somebody for you, and that one will be able to give you more. So apart from the what money you're getting from one business or what you're getting from the employment, you can also get something to supplement whatever you're earning. Because there was a time I had a grocery and I was earning enough money to run the house, the food. The food in the house came from the grocery. Then my salary can pay school fees and can be invested and for the clothing and transport. The other thing is always have emergency fund. Anything can happen. I tell people, make sure that you have put aside 3 months salary somewhere. If you earn 100K, make sure that at least you have somewhere 300K. This is not investment, this is just saving, because anything can happen. You saw what happened during the COVID time. People were got off guard. A person was earning a million salary, 500,000 as a salary. All of a sudden, you don't have money because some companies had to close down, or you are earning a quarter of that. Many people had to shift from wherever they were staying to other lower rent houses, because most of them did not have any emergency fund. So make sure that 3 times of whatever you earn monthly is kept aside for rainy days, because you never know when a disaster strikes. Then the last one is start your investment early. Most of us will start investing after 50 years. Most of us will start doing things after retirement. That I wait until I retire, I go and start a hardware. That's a big no. Now that is source of stress. That is now where you get real-time mental illness. At 60, if you have not started something, cadre do not start it. The success rate of those people who start something after they have retired, it's very low. I'm not saying 100% they do not succeed, but the percentage of those who do not succeed, it's higher than those who succeed. Well, you may be the path to succeed, but do not try something, especially if you're doing it on your own. It will drain you, it will stress you. You can start something, but let somebody manage it. You just be the director. Somebody else will be waking up early in the morning to do everything for you. You just only be supervising what is being done. But do not start something that you yourself has to do it yourself. That is a source of stress. Instead of giving you happiness, you'll be more stressed and you'll be feeling overwhelmed and also feeling sad. So those are some of the things I wanted to share today. There is more, but those are just basic tips. Anyone, you, me, we can able to apply and able to see that our finances now they are not our money is not getting finished before the next payday. So in short, I've talked about the budget, I've talked about paying yourself, I've talked about tracking your spending so that you can know where you're not keeping the discipline. We have also talked about avoid impulse buying. Most of us, we have a lot in our wardrobes and we could not have bought them, but because we felt attracted, we're not budgeted for, we end up now spending on those items. And some of these items, we don't need them. We do not need them. Also have realistic saving goal. You must save. The percentage of saving depend on the expenditure of your basic needs. But make sure that there is saving put aside. Then I've also talked about do not borrow to improve your life, borrow to invest. I've also talked about limiting your borrowing, and this one with a special attention to the mobile apps where your people are being led money, the interest they are being charged from the money they are being led to, it is a lot. It is skyrocketing, and they also disturb you. They do not give you peace if you miss to pay on time. Another thing is plan your future. Make sure that by the time you are retiring, you have really settled. You know where you want to settle. You have a stable financial income so that the lifestyle you are staying before you retired is the same lifestyle you're able to retain after retirement. Another thing I've talked about investment. Make sure that you have another source of income which is coming to your way. If you're employed, make sure that you have invested. And I've said there are so many ways you can invest your money so that there's something small coming to your account every month, and this one can boost your income and also can able to cushion the areas you think now there's some deficit of money. Then I've talked about having an emergency fund. And this one with a good example of COVID, you know what happened. Some of people didn't have anything in their account, so they had even some moved to the village because they could not able to sustain themselves even a month. Another thing I was talking about, when you got the first salary, or yes, from either employment or business, make sure that that is the first day you start investing, because retirement will come sooner or later. When you're employed at 25, you think now you have about that 5 years to work. That 5 years, it's very little time, because at some point you have so many other responsibility which minimize your speed of investing. So that all of us start to invest early, start to plan what you want in future, the type of lifestyle you want to live, and start building it now. You may struggle to stabilize, invest, and everything, but I'll keep on saying that one positive step toward the right direction is better than a long journey in the wrong direction. And if we stick to some of these tips, we will find that our spending will be better, and also we are left with something, and we can able to have the money to run us the whole month, and also to invest and have little saving. Regardless how small you are doing in saving or investment, it is better than the person who has not even started at all. You better start early with small amount of money than waiting until you are 50, 55. That's when now you kind of start saving. You use a lot of money, you need a lot of money, because the time for you to save it is short. So make sure that immediately you start your employment, you start your business, now start planning for your retirement. Thank you so much. I hope those tips will help you. Kindly click on notification bell for more of my videos. Thank you so much, my viewers, for the support.